The storm had raged for hours. Ash fell from the crimson sky of Reth 7, coating the shattered colony outpost in dust and silence. The battle between human settlers and the native Kareth had ended days ago, leaving nothing but twisted steel and the ghosts of both species. Elias Crow, a mechanic turned reluctant survivor, picked his way through the rubble. His mask filters hummed, cutting through the poisonous air. He wasn't looking for anything, at least nothing alive. Then he heard it, a faint sound under the collapsed corridor. A breath that wasn't wind. He froze, adjusted his scanner. There, heartbeats, slow and weak. 1. When he shifted a panel aside, a soft voice rasped through the static of his comm translator. "Help me, please." He aimed his light and saw a shape curled beneath a blanket of scorched insulation, slender, trembling, alien. Her skin shimmered faintly under the dust, a pale silver hue broken by deep bruising. Her body looked fragile, limbs at impossible angles, but her eyes, wide and glassy, still held a spark. Elias knelt. "Don't move. You're hurt." Her voice cracked like glass. "I think all my bones are broken," he hesitated. "You're Kareth," a pause. "And you are human. Does that mean you'll leave me here?" He should have. The Kareth had killed dozens of his people, but something in her voice, soft, pleading, alive, cut through the bitterness. He pulled the blanket free. "No, I'm not leaving anyone." Chapter 2. The Shelter of Strangers. He carried her to his underground shelter, a rusted shipping pod reinforced with scavenged plating. Inside, the glow lamps flickered dimly, painting her wounds in harsh gold. When he laid her down, she gasped in pain. He saw now how broken she truly was, bones splintered beneath skin that shimmered like pearl dust. "Don't move," he said. "I can splint and stabilize, but if you're Kareth, your physiology," she interrupted weakly. "Our bones weave themselves. If the body feels safe." "Feels safe?" he repeated. She nodded faintly. "Kareth bodies heal through resonance. The mind must trust its surroundings." Elias exhaled. "So you need to believe you'll survive. Or I won't." He wrapped her in a thermal sheet, tuning the pod's temperature to match her species' biothermal signature. From what little data he remembered from training, her breathing steadied. "Why were you under the ruins?" he asked quietly. Her eyelids fluttered. "I was a translator for the Peace Council. When the bombs fell, I ran to protect the human envoy. But I failed." Elias froze mid-motion. "The envoy was my captain." Her gaze turned away. "I'm sorry," he said nothing, only tightened the blanket and turned away, hiding the emotion rising in his throat. Chapter 3. The long night hours passed. The storm outside roared like a living creature. Elias sat by the generator, repairing her broken communicator, occasionally glancing back at her. She was awake, watching him. "Why did you save me?" she asked softly. He didn't look up. "Because I could. That is not reason. That is avoidance," he sighed. "Maybe I'm just tired of losing people." Her eyes softened. "Then we are both tired." He looked over, meeting her gaze. Up close, her face wasn't monstrous or alien. It was delicate, almost luminous, the faint shimmer of her skin catching the light like frost. "I'm Elias," he said. She hesitated. "I am Sirana Vel." He smiled faintly. "Sirana, that name means song, right?" Her lips curved weakly. "You speak my tongue?" "Barely. My accent probably sounds like gravel." She chuckled, a soft musical sound that made the metal walls feel warmer. Chapter 4. What he saw, beneath the blanket by morning, her color had changed. The bruises were fading, replaced by faint luminescent lines along her skin, veins of light that pulsed with each heartbeat. Elias adjusted her splints. "You're healing faster than humanly possible." Her voice was calmer now. "I told you. The body responds to safety," he frowned. "So you trust me?" She met his eyes. "I feel no fear when you speak." He tried to hide his embarrassment, focusing on his tools. "That's a first," but when she fell asleep again, he found himself watching her closely, how her skin glowed in rhythm with her breath, how the edges of her hair scattered faint silver sparks against the blanket. He'd lifted that same blanket in terror hours ago, expecting a corpse. Instead, he'd found something fragile, beautiful, and alive. Chapter 5. The voice in the storm days turned to weeks. Outside, the radiation storms cleared, leaving a scorched horizon. Inside, the shelter had changed. Her scent filled the air, faintly floral like rain over stone. She could stand now, leaning against the wall for balance. "You humans," she said one morning, "are strange. You build machines that kill and call them peacekeepers. Elias was welding a panel, and your people use telepathy to manipulate minds. None of us are innocent," she tilted her head. "Perhaps not, but you are kind," he smiled wryly. "That's a new one. No, you hide your pain behind metal and noise. But when you speak to me, you sound soft." He didn't know what to say. The words felt like light slipping under armor. That night, when another tremor hit, the ceiling shook. She reached instinctively for him and he caught her. Her skin was cold as moonlight. His hand lingered longer than it should have. "I'm here," he said. "I know," she whispered, her pulse glowing under his fingers. "That's why I'm not afraid." Chapter 6. The secret beneath her skin. On the 20th day, Sirana revealed something he hadn't expected. She showed him a small device embedded under her wrist, a fragment of alien crystal technology. "This was the translator beacon I carried for the Peace Council. It records everything I hear." Elias frowned. "Including our conversations?" "Yes," he looked uneasy. "So the council knows I saved you?" She shook her head. "The beacon was damaged. Only one message remains." She touched the device, and a holographic image flickered into the air. A human commander and a Kareth elder, both smiling. "The last moment before the bombing," she whispered. They had just agreed to peace. Elias's voice trembled. "You mean the war ended before the final strike?" "Yes, the destruction that followed was a mistake of transmission." He felt sick. "We've been killing each other for a misunderstanding." Sirana lowered her head. "Perhaps that is what always kills us." Chapter 7. The return signal. Elias spent the next days repairing her beacon. His engineer's hands worked like prayer. When it finally powered up, Sirana's glow brightened. "It can send a pulse. My people will find us," he smiled faintly. "Good, you can go home," but she didn't look happy. "Home?" she repeated quietly. "I am not sure what that means now." He met her eyes. "It means somewhere you're wanted." Her voice trembled. "Then I may already be home." Silence fell between them. Not awkward, gentle, like gravity drawing two worlds together. Chapter 8. The rescue. When the Kareth rescue ship arrived, the valley shook with thunder. Sleek silver craft descended through the ash, flooding the ruins with light. Elias helped Sirana to the surface. She walked slowly, still leaning on him. A tall Kareth officer stepped forward, scanning her. "Envoy Sirana Vel, you are alive." "Yes," she said, her voice steady. "Because of him." The officer's gaze turned cold. "A human?" Elias raised his hands. "Don't worry, I'm not here to fight." But Sirana stepped in front of him. "He saved me when your war left me for dead. Treat him as ally or treat me as enemy." The officer hesitated, then bowed his head. "As you wish." Elias blinked, stunned. "You didn't have to do that." She smiled faintly. "You lifted the blanket when no one else would. That is enough reason." Chapter 9. The Song of Two Worlds. Before she boarded, Sirana pressed a small crystal into his palm. "If ever you hear the storms again, break this. I will come." He looked at her, speechless. "Sirana." She reached out, placing her hand over his chest. Her skin glowed, sending a pulse through his heartbeat. "This is what trust feels like," she whispered. "You helped my body believe it could heal. I hope your heart learns the same." He nodded slowly. "It already has." As the ship rose into the sky, Elias stood beneath the fading light, clutching the crystal. For the first time in years, he didn't feel alone. Chapter 10. Epilogue. The second storm months later, when new settlers arrived on Reth 7, they found the old mechanic still living in his repaired shelter. A strange silver light shining from the desk. Inside, a beacon pulsed softly, an encoded message repeating in both languages. When trust is stronger than fear, even broken bones can remember how to sing. And though the stars above were cold, the man beneath them smiled, because somewhere across the silence of space, a voice he once saved was singing his name. The end